Hey, what's up, guys? Terry here for TurboFitTuesday, your favorite day. So today I am talking about fake meat. One of my favorite subjects, or one of my favorite things to eat. So I get a question a lot about whether or not fake meats are like Beyond Meat or an Impossible Burger. Is it healthy? Is it healthier than a hamburger? So back when I first went vegetarian in 1996, I was in high school, didn't know what I was doing, didn't know how to cook. Thank God for Boca and Morningstar Farms. I lived on that food, right? I would make veggie burgers all the time. They had those chicken patties, chicken nuggets, corn dogs, whatever. So for me, as someone who didn't really know how to cook anything, didn't know how to prepare anything, knew literally nothing about nutrition, there was no internet. Maybe Google was around in 1996. If Google was around, it wasn't popular yet. That got popular. I feel like I didn't start using it until 1999, 2000. There weren't blogs like there are now. The access to information was way different. I got this cookbook and I was trying to find the cookbook on Amazon so I could link to it in my blog post about this. And it doesn't even exist anymore. You can't even buy this cookbook. It was my first vegetarian cookbook, and it was 365 healthful ways to cook tofu and other proteins or something. So it was awesome. My aunt got it for me. She was the only vegetarian in the world that I knew, and it had all these different recipes for how to cook tofu and tempeh, which I'd never heard of, seitan, which I'd never heard of, and it's well, tofu I've heard of. I've had it in miso soup. That's not so scary. So I remember the first time I ever made fried tofu. It was so exciting. That was as extensive as my culinary expertise was. I made a lot of grilled cheese, mac and cheese, probably ate a lot of pizza. But every day I would eat a bagel for lunch with cream cheese, and then 3 Laffy Taffies or a box of chewy gobstoppers and cherry Coke. And then for dinner I would have my Morningstar Farms chicken patty or whatever with rice, because I'm Asian and that's what we eat, and a vegetable because we always had a vegetable every night with dinner. So you had your protein as your main dish, your rice, and then your vegetable. That was always kind of how it was. If you picture those little plates kids have, that was those 3 sections. The big section was that protein section. So now as an adult, I've learned more about nutrition, went vegan. The protein's not as critical as everybody always thought it was, or it doesn't need to be the center of the dish. So you can get away from that stuff. But there are amazing meat alternatives now that I love still to enjoy every now and then. And I love them as transition foods. So if you're going from a omnivorous diet to a more herbivorous diet, so if you're going from eating meat to not eating meat, they're great to help you with that transition. If you keep eating them forever, fine. If you don't eat them, if you transition them out or just eat them occasionally, fine. Do what works for you. Are they healthier than their meat alternatives? It depends on what specifically you're talking about. So today I'm going to specifically talk about Beyond Burgers because I love them. I'm obsessed with Beyond Burgers, right? But a lot of times meat eaters get real defensive about their meat. They say, well, it's just a processed fake burger. It's not even healthier than a hamburger. And to their credit, they're not wrong, right? The Beyond Burger's not perfect. It's not necessarily healthier. It depends on what you consider healthy, right? So when it comes to protein, they're very similar in protein content, but what's the fat like? Beyond Burgers are chocked full of fat. So I compared a Beyond Burger to a organic grass-fed burger from Whole Foods, and the fat content in the organic grass-fed burger is 1 gram less than the Beyond Burger. So, and they both have saturated fat. Beyond had 6 grams and the grass-fed had 7 grams of saturated fat. And it's not something you want to be putting in your body every day, right? Real meat, fake meat, either way. Probably not the best thing to eat. Of course, the animal burger has cholesterol, whereas the vegan burger doesn't, because vegan food just has no cholesterol, no dietary cholesterol in it, because you need to be a living thing to produce cholesterol. Humans and animals make cholesterol, so we make our own cholesterol. Animals make cholesterol, so when we eat animals, we eat their cholesterol. If we don't eat animals, we just make our own. So if you're worried about cholesterol, don't eat animals or animal products. Sodium is a big one. 390 milligrams of sodium in a Beyond Burger. As in the grass-fed organic burger, there was 65 milligrams of sodium. So if that's important to you, that's a consideration. Maybe 390 milligrams of sodium is not something you want to eat in one burger. That's a lot of sodium. There is more iron and calcium in a Beyond Burger than the meaty burger, the beef burger, but it's not oh my gosh, it's got so much calcium and iron, it's the best burger in the world. I mean, it's just a little bit more. So And there's fiber, of course, in the Beyond Burger, whereas there's not in the grass-fed burger. So fiber is obviously really good for you, really important, really good for your health, and if you're trying to lose weight and stuff, but probably eating a burger that's 18 grams of fat with 6 grams of saturated fat is not going to be good for your health or good for weight loss. So you got to weigh these things. What's the most important things to you is what you have to figure out for yourself. The benefits of the Beyond Burger over the organic grass-fed burger, though, obviously nothing had to die. Nobody died for this burger. So if you care about that, obviously the Beyond Burger is a better choice. And the environmental impacts of eating animals, obviously it's getting to the point where it's kind of undeniable, right? Animal agriculture is contributing to our environment, our planet, and if we eat more Beyond Burgers and less beef burgers, the world will live longer, right? It'll be a healthier planet. So should you eat Beyond Burgers every single day? Probably not. I would not recommend it. I would not do it to myself. I do love Beyond Burgers. I have had many Beyond Burgers in my life. I will continue to eat Beyond Burgers, but is it healthier than a organic grass-fed beef burger? Probably really similar. So if you're just saying, I would have eaten a beef burger and you replace it with a Beyond Burger, awesome. If you're like, oh man, normally I just eat broccoli and rice, but now I'm going to add Beyond Burgers, probably going in the wrong direction for health, right? So take that for what it's worth. That is my 2 cents. I am not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a dietitian. I am just me, and I am obsessed with this stuff, so I like to share it with you guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode of TurboFit Tuesdays, and I will talk to you guys next week. Bye!